Namaste. Yeah, I dropped my phone today, so I'm now using my computer as a camera. I don't know how good that is, but at least you could see me. Um, it's not I'm not the happiest person right now today. Okay, let me take mm, nicotine. Okay. Namaste. Should be pretty short today, I think. 29 verses. We did 42 yesterday. Atha panchamotyāyaha samnya sayogaha. I also changed my mouse pattern, the color, so you could see where I am more easily. Arjuna Uvacha. Yeah, generally things are gonna improve as time goes on, as far as uh, me streaming goes. So samnya sam kaimanam krishna 본할 요감자 샴사시 야그치레야 야타 요레감 다음에 부루히 수니시치담 시리 파가바누바자 삼니야 사흐 갈마요가시자 니허시레야 사카라 부파오 다요스투 갈마 삼니야 사드 갈마요고 비시슈어테 지녀야흐 사 니띠야 삼니야 시 요 나 드베시투이 나 강은쿠셔티 닐드반드보 히 마하바호 수캄 바는타 드파라무지아테 상응 키아 요가오 브리타그 바라흐 브라바다는디 나 바는두이타흐 에까마피아 스티타흐 사미야구 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 파열비는 다테 팔라무 야트상 키아이흐 브라피아테 스타남 다디오 가이라피 가미아테 에캄 상응 키암자 요감자 야흐 바시아티 사 바시아티 삼니야 사스투 마하바호 두허카마 부투마 요가타흐 요가 요구도 모닐브라하마 나 나치레노 티카그차티 요가 요구도 비슈드타드마 비지타드마 지타는드리야흐 살바 푸다드마 꿀바는 나비 나 리피아테 나이바 겐체트 까로미티 유구도 마니에타 따트바비트 Oh, it's one long word. 바시안 시리는 바느 스프리샨 지크라는 나 신나는 가크차느 스바판 시바사느 오케이. 오이. 바시안 시리는 바느 스프리샨 지크라는 신 지크라는 나 바시안 시리는 바는 스프리샨 지크라는 나 바시안 시린 바시안 시리는 바는 스프리샨 바시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시나는 가크차는 스바판 시바사는. Alright, it's gonna take a while. Am I sorry? I just stepped on something. Check, check. Okay, the mic is lagging a little bit. I'll fix that next time. When I finish Bhagavad Gita, I'm not gonna stop it now. All right, if I could get through this word, then I'll be okay. 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시나는 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시나는 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는. Sorry, it's gonna take a while. 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시나는 가크차는 스바판 시바산는 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시나는 가크 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샨지 크라는 나 시난 파시안 시리는 바는 스프리 샤는지 크라는 나 시나는 가크차는 스바판 시바사는. I'll take it. Paralapanam bi. Oh, it's another long word. It's like back to back. Paralapan, Paralapanam bisri chana. Paralapanam bisri. Paralapanam bisri chana gri hunan. Non nunun mi shon. No ni mi shonan napi. I apologize for today. The quality of today's videos kind of sucked because I dropped my phone. I'm using my laptop's camera, and you guys are looking at my this side has been completely damaged due to the injury that I've yeah. Prala prala panan bisri janan guri hunanan nunan mi. Prala panan bisri janan guri hunanan nummi shanan nimi shanan napi. Prala panan bisri janan guri hunan. Paralapanam bisri janam griha nanan nunan mi. Parala parala Paralapanam bisri janam griha. Paralapanam bisri janam griha nanan nunan mi. Paralapanam bisri janam griha nanan nu. I apologize. It's yeah, it's one of those days. Pralapanam bisri janam griha nanan nunan. Pralapanam bisri janam griha nanan nunan mi. Pralapanam bisri jananu grihunan. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan numnum. Pralapanam bisri jananu. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunun. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunun misha. Pralapanam bisri janan. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan misha nani. Mishanan napi. Pralapanam bisri janan. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi shanan nimi shanan napi. I need nicotine. Sorry. Like as I mentioned before, Sanskrit has to let you say it. That's part of the reason why I can't say it. There are other reasons, but Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan. Pralapanam bisri janan nu. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi. Pralapanam bisri janan grihunanan nunan mi shanan nimi shanan napi. 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 Sorry. Oh, I'm not giving up. 브랄라빠는 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 셔는님 미셔는 나비 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 셔는니 셔는님이 셔는 나비 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 셔는니 미셔는 나비 브랄라 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 part of the reason why I can't say it or one cannot say some certain words is because there's like mental obstacles. So once you say it, it kind of cures it. It makes it better. So that means I have a mental block, and hence the reason why I can't pronounce it right now. But so I'm once I pronounce it, it'll make my condition better. 브랄라빠 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 셔는니 미셔는 나비 One more time, and then a couple of more times I said it, but it was kind of broken. That's why I want to say it again. 브랄라빠는 비스리 자는 그리흐 너는 눈음이 셔는니 미셔는 나비 Okay, moving on. 인드리야 누인드리야 태슈 발다는 따 이띠 타라야는 브라하마누여 타야 깔마누이 상응감 야그드바 까로티 야흐 리피아테 나사 빠페나 바드마 바트라 미밤 파사 바드마 바트라 미밤은 파사 가예나 마나사 무드티아 게발라이린들이 아이라피 요기나흐 깔마 꿀바는 디 상응감 디아크드바 드마슈드타예 유그다흐 깔마 팔람 디아크드바 샤는 디마 브노티 나이시 트위키무 아유그다흐 까마가레너 팔레 사크도 니바 니바티아테 살바 깔마 누이 마나사 삼니아시아 스테 수캄 바시 나바드바레 보레 데히 나이바 꿀바는 나 까라야느 나 깔뜨리트밤 나 깔마누이 로카시아 스리자티 프라푸흐 나 깔마팔라사미오감 스와파바스투 프라발타테 나 다트테 가시아 치트파밤 나 짜이바 수크리탐 비푸흐 아지냐네나 브리탐 지냐남 테나 무히아는티 자는 따바흐 지냐네나 뚜 다다 지냐남 예슈 나 시타마 트마나흐 데슈마 디티야 바지 지냐남 브라카샤야티 따트파라무 It's another long word. 다드부드타 야스타다 트마나스 따는 느실트 스타트 따트파라야노 다드부드타야 다드부드타야 스타다 트마나스타는 다드부드타야 스타다 트마나스타는 니시트 스타트파라야노 각 각차는 띠야 각 까크차는 띠야 부나라 브리트팀 진야나닐 두 따까를 진야나닐 두 따까를 진야나닐 두 따까를 마셔 비디야 비나야 삼빠는 비디야 비나야 삼은 빠는네 브라하마누에 가비 하스티니 슈니 짜이바 시바빠게 짜 반반은두이따흐 사마달시나흐 이하이바 다일지따흐 살고 예숑 사미에 스티땀 마나흐 밀도섬 히 사맘 브라하마 다스마드 브라하마누이 테 스티따흐 나 브라흐리슈에 브라흐리슈에트 브리얌 브라피아 노드비젯 노드비제트 브라피아 짜 브리얌 스티라 부드티라 사무무투어 브라하마비드 브라하마누이 스티타흐 바히아스팔샤시바 사크타트마 비는다티아트마니 야트수카무 사 브라하마 요가 요그타트마 수카마 수카마쿠쇼 수카마쿠쇼야마 수카마쿠쇼야마 슈누테 예히 삼스팔샤장 포강 두허카요나야 에바테 아디아는 따바는 따흐 가오는 때야 나 때슈 라마테 부타흐 샤크노티 하이바 야흐 소툼 브라크 샤리라 비모쿠쇼너트 까마크로토 까마크로토드 파밤 베감 사 유크타흐 사 수키 나라흐. It's another long word. 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타타는 딸지오띠레바 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타타는 딸지올 띠레바 딸지오 띠레바 딸지오 요는 따흐 수코는 따라라 마스타타는 딸지오 띠레바 야흐 사 요기 브라하마 닐바남 브라하마 푸도 티카그찬 브라하마 푸도 브라하마 푸도 티 브라하마 푸도 티카그차티 랍하는 때 브라하마 닐바나 무리셔야흐 구슈이 너 깔을 마셔흐 치는 나드 바이타 야따트마나흐 살바푸타히테 라따흐 까마꾸로타비우크타나 야띠나 야뜨 야따짜따삼 아피토 브라하마닐바남 발타테 비디타테마남. Three more verses. 스팔샤는 그리트바 바힐바 히암 시자그 슈시자이바는 딸에 부르보흐 브라노 바나오 사마오 그리트바 나사마 피아는 따라 짜리노 야 야떼는 들이야마노 부드틸 야떼는 들이야마노 야떼는 들이야마노 부드틸 문일 야떼는 들이야 야떼는 들이야마노 부드틸 문일 모구셔 빠라야너흐 비가 때끝차 바야크로토 비야 sorry Namaste. I'm gonna say it one more time. 비가 때끝차 바야 비가 비가 때끝차 바야크로토 야흐 사다 무그다 에바 사흐 호그다람 야진야 따빠삼 살발로까마 헤시바람 수흐리담 살바푸다남 진야 뜨밤 맘 샤는 디무리 끝차띠 Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatusu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Sutras Shri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Samnya Sayogo Nama Panchamotthayahu. I apologize. Namaste took longer than I wanted to. So, yeah, let me read the translation and then fix some settings so it's easier for me. Arjuna said, "Thou applaudest, O Krishna, the abandonment of actions, and again the application. Tell me definitely which one of these two is superior." The Holy One said, "Both abandonment of actions and application to actions lead to emancipation. But of these, application to action is superior to abandonment. He should always be known to be an ascetic who hath no aversion nor desire. For, being free from pairs of opposites, O thou of mighty arms, he is easily released from the bonds. Fools say, but not those that are wise, that Sankhya and Yoga are distinct. One who stayeth in even one reapeth the fruit of both. Whatever seed is attained by those that profess the Sankhya system, that too is reached by those that profess the Yoga. He seeth truly who seeth Sankhya and Yoga as one, but renunciation, Almighty Am the One, without devotion is difficult to attain. The ascetic who is engaged in devotion reacheth the Supreme Being without delay. He who is engaged in devotion and is of pure soul, who hath conquered his body and subdued his senses, and who identifieth himself with all creatures, is not better though performing. The man of devotion who knoweth the truth thinketh, I am doing nothing, when seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, breathing, talking, excreting, taking, opening the eyelids or closing them. He regardeth that it is the senses that are engaged in the objects of sense. He who, renouncing attachment, engageth in actions, resigning them to Brahma, is not touched by sin as the lotus leaf by water. They that are devotees, casting off attachment, perform actions for purity of self with the body, the mind, the understanding, and even the senses. He that is possessed of devotion, renouncing the fruit of action, attaineth to the highest tranquility. He that is not possessed of devotion and is attached to the fruit of action is better by action performed from desire. The self-restrained embodied, renouncing all actions by the mind, remains at ease within the house of nine gates, neither acting himself nor causing to act. The Lord is not the cause of the capacity for action, or of the actions of men, or of the connection of actions and fruit. It is nature that engages. The Lord receiveth no one's sin, nor also merit. By ignorance, knowledge is surrounded. It is for this that creatures are deluded. But of whomsoever that ignorance hath been destroyed by knowledge of self, that knowledge, like the sun, discloseth the Supreme Being. Those whose mind is on him, whose very soul is he, who abide in him, and who have him for their goal, depart never more to return, their sins being all destroyed by knowledge. They that are wise cast an equal eye on a Brahmana, and deal with learning and modesty on a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a chandala. Even here, chandala means a dog eater. Even here has birth been conquered by them whose minds rest on equality. And since Brahma is faultless and equable, therefore they abide in Brahma. He whose mind is steady, who is not deluded, who knows Brahma, and who rests in Brahma, doth not exult on obtaining anything that is agreeable, nor doth he grieve on obtaining anything that is disagreeable. He whose mind is not attached to external objects of sense obtaineth that happiness which is in self, and by concentrating his mind on the contemplation of Brahma, he enjoyeth the happiness that is imperishable. The enjoyments born of the contact are productive of sorrow. He that is wise, O son of Kunti, never taketh pleasure in these that have a beginning and an end. That man who even here, before the dissolution of the body, is able to endure the agitations resulting from desire and wrath, is fixed on contemplation, and is happy. He who findeth happiness within himself, who supporteth within himself, he whose light is derived from within himself, is a devotee, and becoming one with Brahma, attaineth to absorption into Brahma. Those saintly personages, whose sins have been destroyed, whose doubts have been dispelled, who are self-restrained, and who are engaged in the good of all creatures obtain absorption into Brahma. For those devotees who have been free from desire and wrath, whose minds are under control, and who have knowledge of self, absorption into Brahma exists both here and hereafter, excluding all external objects of sense, directing the visual glance between the brows, mingling the upward and the downward life breaths and making them pass through the nostrils. The devotee who has restrained the senses, the mind, and the understanding, being intent on emancipation and who is free from desire, fear, and wrath, is emancipated indeed. Knowing me to be the enjoyer of all sacrifices and ascetic austerities, the great Lord of all the worlds and the friend of all creatures, such a one obtaineth tranquility. Okay. I'm gonna make a note to myself. It's page 126, page 22. Okay, so I'm gonna take like a minute break, fixing everything and setting stuff up for the next study. So give me a minute. 69 today. Okay. So let me set this up here and set that up here. That's better. Um, and nicotine break, and then three monitors going. This is my first time using three monitors. I kind of, what is it? Feel technical. Is everything all right? Let's see. I'll double check here. Okay, it's the best I could do for now. Namaste. Shukrahu, Shushukvam, Usho na Jarahu, Papram, Samiji, Divo na Jyotihu, Pariprajatahu, Kratva, Paputa, Puvo Devanam, Pita, Putrahu, Sanu. It's not that long. 메탐 아드리브도 아그닐비잔 나는 누탈 아그닐비잔 아그닐비잔 나는 아그닐비잔 나는 누탈 아그닐비잔 나는 누탈나 고남 스바드마 비투나무 자네 나 셰바 아후리야흐 사는마티에 니셔트도 라누보 드로누에 우트로 나 자또 라누 라누보 라누보 드로누에 바지 나 브리또 비쇼 비타리트 비쇼 야다흐 야다흐베 느리피흐 사닐러 아그닐데바 아그닐데바트바 비시바니아시아흐 나크슈트 에땅 브라땅 미나는티 느리피오 야다피아흐 슈루슈루슈 뚜임 자칼타 따뚜뚜 때 담소 야다하는 사마날 느리피리야 디우구토 야다하는 사마날 느리피리 야다하는 사마날 느리피리야 디우구토 미베 람파시. Sorry, I'm gonna read that because I pronounced this wrong and I'm gonna read this one more time. 야다하는 사마날 느리피리야 디우구토 미베 라밤시. Okay. 우쇼 나 자로 비파 비파보스라흐 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 다스마이. Maybe one more time. This word. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다다. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 따다. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 따다스마이. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 따다스마이. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 따스마이. 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 삼지냐 따루 빠시치겠다 따스마이. 여마나 바하는 또 두로 비아느리는 바는 나 비아느리는 바는 나는 바는 따 비아느리는 바는 나는 바는 따 비십에 스발들이 시게 나마스테. Let me change some settings. Bright, splendid, like dawn's lover, he hath filled the two joined worlds as with the light of heaven. When born with might, thou hast encompassed them. Father of gods, and yet their son wast thou. Agni the sage, the humble, who discerns like the cow's udder the sweet taste of food. Like a bliss giver to be drawn to men, sits gracious in the middle of the house. Born in the dwelling like a lovely son, pleased, like a strong steed, he bears on the folk. What time the men and I with heroes call, may Agni then gain all through godlike power. None breaks these holy laws of thine when thou hast granted audience to these chieftains here. This is thy boast, thou smotest with thy peers, and joined with heroes dravest off disgrace. Like the dawn's lover, spreading light, well known as hued like morn, may he remember me. They, bearing up themselves, unbarred the doors. They all assumed to the fair place of heaven. Testing. Okay. The mic is lagging a little bit. Um, okay. Page 110. Tomorrow's chapter 70 of book 1. And moving on. So we're starting from chapter 17. I want to finish the book by tomorrow. So we'll see how much we could do today. Yeah, they're pretty short. Next few sutras are pretty short. Namaste. Taduparanga pekushritva kachitata. Taduparanga pekushritva kachitatasya. Pasatu chinyatama Ayasakan tamanui. Ayasakan tamanui karma. Ayasakan tamanui karpa. Vishoya. Ayaho sataimak. Ayaho satai. Ayaho ha. Ayaho ha. Ayaho. Ayaho sataimakam. Chititamipa. Sambantiyopa ranjayananti. Chititamapi sambanan. Chititamapi sambanan. Chititamapi sambantiyo. Chititamapi sambanantiyo paranjayananatati. It's this word here. Chititamapi sambanantiyo paranjayan. Janayanti, yananti. Chitita, chititamapi sambanantiyo para. Chititamapi sambanantiyo para jayananti. I apologize for today. Chititamapi saman. Chititamapi sambanantiyo pa. Chititamapi sambanantiyo para jayan. Chititamapi sambanantiyo. Chititamapi sambantiyo. Chititamapi sambanantiyo para jayananti. Chititamapi sambanantiyo para jayan. Ranja. Chititamapi sambanan. Chititamapi sambanantiyo paranja. Chititamapi sambanantiyo paranjayananti. Yena ja Vishoyeno parakatam. Chitatam sang Vishoyo Jinya Dasatatonia Punara Jinya Daha Pasuno Jinya Dasabaru Patava Parinomi Chitatam. Okay, that's 17. On account of the dependence of the mind upon the color thereof, the substance remains cognized and uncognized. The objects, just like a lodestone, simply by close connection color the mind, which is of similar characteristics to iron. Further, the object by which the mind is colored become cognized. What is other than that is the Purusha, who remains uncognized. The mind is changeful on account of its having the cognized and the uncognized characters of the substance. The second one. A thing is known or not known by virtue of its affecting the mind stuff. Objects of sense, like magnets, bind to themselves the mind stuff, as if it had qualities of iron, and affect it. The object whereby the mind stuff is affected is known. But he who is other than this is not known. The mind stuff enters into mutations because the nature of the thing is now known and now not known. Namaste. Yasya tu tadeva chitatam vishayastasya sada chinyata sachitita paritaya satata prapoho purushasya parino purushasya parino mitvat yadi chititavata prapurapi purushaho parino matatat parino matatatasata parino matatatasata vishaya parino met parino matatatasata vishaya Chittata Vrittatayahu Parino Metatasat Parino Metatasatata Vishaya Chittata Vrittatayahu. And there's number one. Metta, 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 metta. And then it continues. It breaks that one word into two. Parino metta, tatasatadavi, tatasatadavi shoya chittata Vrittatayahu. Shabda Divishaya Bachichinyata. Shabda Divishaya Shabda Divishaya Shabda Divishaya Baji move. Alright, I'm gonna take a nicotine break. This is why I use this for now. It really helps me. Otherwise, I'll be pulling hair. It's like, should I do this or pull my hair? Yeah, try to take the easiest way out most of the time anyway. Shabda Divishaya Baji Jinyata Jinyata Siuho Sada jinya tatavam tu manasasa tata parapoho purushasya parino mitvamanu ma payati purushasya parino mitvamanu purushasya parino mitvamanu. Oh, sorry, I'm being distracted right now. It's this word here. Purushasya parino mitvamanu ma purushasya parino mitvamanu purushasya parino. See, when you read Sanskrit, you're changing the world a little bit. So sometimes the world doesn't want to change, so it'll distract the person reciting the Sanskrit, believe it or not. Purushasya parino mitvamanuma. Purushasya parino mitvamanuma payati. Yeah, I'll take it. One more time. Purushasya parino mitvamanuma payati. Okay, better. Okay, so I'm gonna start from here because it includes the sutra. In regard to him, however, whose sphere is this mind alone, the operations of the mind are always known to its Lord on account of the unchangeability of the Purusha. If the Purusha, the Lord, also changes like the mind, then the mental operations regarding those will be known and unknown like the object, sound, etc. But the constant knowership of the mind proves the unchangeability of the Purusha, the Lord of that. 19 is long. But as for him for whom the same mind stuff is an object of sense, unintermittently, the master of that knows the fluctuations of mind stuff. The self undergoes no mutations. If, like the mind stuff, the master also, that is, the self, should undergo mutation, then fluctuations of mind stuff, which are its objects, would be like objects of sense, the sounds and others, sometimes known and sometimes not known. The fact, however, that the central organ is unintermittently known by its master, the self, leads us to infer that he is an entity that undergoes no mutations. Oh, it's not that long. Okay. I want to do like 5 more sutras. That's my goal. Namaste. Siyada Shanganka Chittameba Siva Pasam Vishaya Pasam Ja. And there's number 2. That's Ja. Ooh, so they added this whole thing. And there another alternative. There's a third alternative. Okay, so we'll read this and then I'll go back and then read the third one. So this start we just read that. Vaisheshvikanam Chittatatmavadinam Ja. And then it goes to Pa. Whereas okay, so Pa. I'm gonna read that after I finish the third alternative. So why I'm gonna make this smaller for now. I'm gonna go back to I like having the large letters. Paina Paina Shikanam Chittatatmavadinam. Okay. So that was the two versions of number 2. Habishyati Dia Gnivat. Habishyati Dia Gnivat. Na Tatasava Pasam Trishyatavat. Yatataranui 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 Nundriyanui Shabda Dayashaja Trishyatavanana Siva Pasani Tata Manopi Pratyatavyam Na Jagniratara Tirishutu Tirishutu Tirishutanantaho Na Hyagniratama. Did I read number 3? No, I didn't. So I gotta go back here. Sorry about today. I broke my phone and I'm using a computer monitor. It's okay. So yeah, I gotta do number 3 again. Shiotia, 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 shiotia. So it skips this word. Pabishiotia ganibatu, and then go back to the sutra. Na tatasava pasam trishyatavat yatataranui nandriyanui shabda dayashicang trishyatavanana siva pasani tata manopi pratyatavyam na jagniratara tirishuddhanantaho na Hyagniratmasvarupamaprakasham. Rupa, ba. Pretty sure that's a ba. Let me double check. I have to double check when there's, so fuzzy like that. I'm like 90% sure it's a ba. Suba, suba. Subarupa. And which word was it? Rupa, yeah. And now it breaks into 2 pages, that one word. Oh, that's not Yati. Prakashayati. That was easy. Not easier than a lot of other things. Prakashashit Prakashashichayam Prakashya Prakashaka Samyoge prakashya prakasha prakashya prakashaka samyoge tirishitaha na cha svarupamatrasati samyogaha kim cha svabhasam chittamityagarahyameva kasya chiditi chabudaltaha tadyatha sivatma pratishtha sivatma pratishtha makavasham. There's number one. Makasha mitya pratishita mevetya. Um, the only question that I have is that the or huh. 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 Mm, excuse me. Well, it uses the same version as the first one. The fourth version. That's book three. Still book three. Yeah, I don't know how others read their Yoga Sutras with Vyasa's commentaries, but for me, I have to read all the versions as much as I can, whatever's out there. As much as they publish it, I have to read them. The only exception being if it's a really modern version, then I won't read the modern version. 19. And the word was this one. Sivatama Pratishta. Sivatama. Okay. This could be a ta, shita or shita. I'm gonna do both of them. Can I do this? No, it's too far. Sivatma Pratishtha. Sivatma Pratishtha. Sivatma Sivatma Pratishtha Makasha. Shamitya Pratishtha Mevetya. So I'm gonna read it as a ta and the. I'll try anyway. I have to. There's no choice. Sivatma Pratishtha Makasham. Mitya Pratishtha Mevetya. Sivatma Pratishtha Makashamitya Pratishtha Sivatma Pratishtha Sivatma Pratishtha Makashamitya Pratishtha Mevetya. So that's with this with ta. Now I'm gonna with the. Sivatma Pratishtha Makashamitya Pratishtha Met. Wow, that sounded really awkward. So maybe it is a ta, but I have to pronounce it the other way. Sivatma Pratishtha Makashamitya Sivatma Pratishtha Makashamitya Pratishtha Mevetya. Moving, one more. Sivatma Paratishitama Shamitya Paratishto Mevet. Whoa, it's really hard to pronounce it that way. Sivatma Paratishitama Shamitya Paratishito Mevetya. Moving on. Na Variparatishito Mityaltahu. Sivabuddhati Prachara Pratisamvedana Sattvanam Pravritil Dirishyate Guruditoham Pi Tohamamudra Me Ragomudra Me Grota Iti Etasva Buddha Teragara Hanue. One more. Etatu Siva Buddha Teragara Hanue Na Yukutamiti. Okay, I'll start from here because that includes the sutra. Here a doubt is raised by the Vainashikas and also by those who believe the mind to be the soul, that the mind alone is self-illuminating and also the illuminator of the object like fire. This is not self-illuminating on account of its perceptibility, as the other senses and the objects, sound, etc., are not self-illuminating on account of perceptibility. Um, so also the mind is to be understood. Let me just double check if I'm still online. We're as the other senses and the objects, sound, etc., are not so also mind. Also, the mind is to be understood. I'll read that one more. Sorry, I don't know what I read. As the other senses and the objects, sound, etc., are not self-illuminating on account of perceptibility, so also the mind is to be understood. Further, fire cannot be the example here because fire does not illuminate any of its form which is dark. Moreover, this illumination is found in the conjunction of the illuminable and the illuminator. Also, the conjunction of anything cannot take place with its own pure nature. What more? The self-illuminating mind means not receivable by anyone else. This is the meaning of the words. Similarly, if it is said that the ether is self-supporting, the meaning is that it is supportless only. The manifestation of all beings is seen in the reflex knowledge of the movement of their own intellect, such as I am angry, I am afraid, here is my attachment, there is my anger, etc. All this is proper by not taking one's own intellect. This should the doubt arise whether the mind stuff like fire illumines itself and at the same time illumines objects. It does not illumine itself since it is an object for sight. Just as the organs of sense and the sounds and other perceptibles do not illumine themselves, since they are objects for sight, so the central organ is also to be represented. And accordingly, fire as an example could not apply to it, for fire does not throw light upon its own self, which is without light. And here light is thrown when there's a relation of the light giver with something to be lighted. Furthermore, such a relation does not occur with the thing itself. Besides, the meaning of the words the mind stuff illumines itself is that it is not an object for knowledge for anyone. Just as the words air is grounded in itself mean that it is not grounded in something else, for the reason that creatures are conscious by reflection of the process of their own thinking substances. When they say, I am angry, I am afraid, I feel a passion for that person, I am angry with that person, there is purposive action. This is impossible unless there be a knowledge of one's own thinking substance. Okay. I want to do a few more. I want to do a lot more, but this is really good for you, you know. Namaste, ekasamaye, jopaya navatara namu, na jaikasamina kushonue, sivapararu, Svapararu Pavataranam Yukutam Krishanui Kavadino Yadapavanam Saiva Kriya Tadeva Cha Karakamitia Pyu Pagamaho Karakamitia Pyu Pagamaho. That's really hard to connect that for me. Okay, so that was 20. Really short. Also, the absence of ascertainment of both at one and the same time. Also, at a single moment, the ascertainment of one's own nature and that of the other is not proper. The conception of the supporter of the momentary existence is that the existence itself is the action, and the same also is likewise the agent. And there cannot be a cognition of both at the same time. And it is impossible in a single moment to cognize one's own form and another's as well. It is a supposition of the momentarists that whatever exists is both action and the means related to an action. Okay. Namaste. Sianamatiho. Sivarasani. Sivarasani Rud. Sivarasani Ruditam. Chitatam. Chitatanantara. Chitatanantara. Chitatanantare no. And there's number one. 3. Thing it skips a word. Yeah, it skips this. Another version skips this next word, but I have to say everything. I can't skip anything. 사만나는 딸에는 그리히았다 이티 지드다는 따라들이시에 부드테 라티프라 부드테라 부드테라 티프라 상은가흐 네, 스물 몸물 부드테라 티프라 상은가흐 스물이티 삼가라시짱. Yeah, once again, I apologize for today. It's like the top 100 bad days, maybe not 1,000 bad days that I've ever had. Ata chitatam jaku 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 chitatanan tareno gurihyata buddhati ho kena gurihyate sapianya sapianyaya sapianyayatya sapiaye sapianyayati. It's this word here. 사비아니아야띠아띠 브라상은가흐 스무리티 삼가라시짱 야바는 또 부드티 나마누 파바스다 부드티 나마누 파바스다 바시 부드티 나마누 파바스다 바티야흐 스무리타야흐 브라부누바는띠 따뜻 삼가라 Tata samkara gachaika samritya navataranam cha siadityevam buddhati prati sambedinam purusha purusha purushama pral purushama palapa purushama palapada pil purushama palapada. Sorry, I'm being distracted now. Yeah, if you recite Sanskrit correctly, the world will try to stop you a little bit because you are changing the world a little bit. Purushama, Purushama Palabada, Purushama Palapada Pil, Purushama Palapada Pil, Purushama Palapada Pil Vaina Shikaiha, Salvameba, Salvameba Guli Gritama. Then do Pokutiri Sivarupam Yatra Kavachana Karalpayananto Na Karalpayananto Na Niyayana Samgaku Samgaku Chanante Gachititu. And there's number two. I'm glad that I changed the color of my pointer so people could see what I'm doing better. Chitta Sattva, Chitta Sattva, Chitta Sattva. So it combines this word and negates that word. Get Chitta Sattva, get Chitta Sattva, get Chitta Sattva. Yeah. Get Chitta Sattva Matra, get Chitta Sattva Matra Mapi. No, I gotta say this word. Sattva Sattvam, Sattvamat, Sattvamattaramapi, Parikalpya Sati Sa Sattvo Ya, Etanan Pancha, Sukanantanan Nikushri, Pyanan Nyam Shicha. Sorry, I'm now being distracted. I just like 4, 5 more lines, and then Sukanantanan Nikushri, Sukanantanan Nikushri Pyania. Sukanantana Nekushwipianiam Shicha Pratisamdatati Tiu Pratisamdatati Tiu Kutuva Tata Eva Punasutrasyanati. Excuse me. Ah, Tata Sukanantana. So fuzzy. Alright, so I need another version. That was 21. Sukananta. So it breaks into 2 words and it's a ma. Just one more version just to make sure. Sukananta, it also breaks into 2 words in the fourth version. Please be different. So I'm not consuming my time. Sukanta, or so all the other 3 versions say there's a break here. Sukanantanam Mahanani Mahananilvedaya. And there's number 3. It's probably Nilve, Nilve, Mahananil, Mahananilvedaya. Another one? Or no? Okay, that was it. So we're starting from here. Viragaya Nutupadaya Prashanantaye Kurora Kuroranantik. Sorry, I'm being distracted. Kuro, or it's what the heck? Yeah, Kuro. It's this word here. Kuro라는 뜻게. That's a cool, right? Now I'm seeing things. This is what happens when I get distracted. It's like stuff that you know, you have to double check, which is. And we're starting from here. Brahmacharyam Parishyami Tiyukadeva Sattavasya Punaha. I'm gonna say that one more time. It's so being distracted. There must be something in the sutra, like something's stopping me. Charishu mi tiyukutva sattavasya punahu sattavameva pahunuvate. The last verse. Yay. Samkhya yoga dayasutu prabhadahu svashabudena purushomeva svaminam chittatasya pokutaram upayananti iti. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's pretty short from now on for the most part. Maybe, a couple more sutras. There's only like 34 sutras. We have like 14 left, if that. There's a view that the mind, being restrained on its own habit, is taken by another mind next to it. In the case of different minds, the unwarrantable stretch of the intellect after intellect, and also the confusion of the memories. Now, if the mind be taken by another mind, then by whom is intellect after intellect taken? This also by another intellect, and that also by another. So comes the unwarrantable stretch of intellect after intellect, and also the confusion of memories. As there are the cognitions of intellect after intellect, so many are the memories. Further, on account of this confusion, there will also be the absence of ascertainment of one memory. Thus, all is indeed confused by the Vainashikas, who do away with the Purusha, the reflective knower of the intellect. On the other hand, they are not logical wherever they imagine the character of the enjoyer. Some people, again, even after projecting the pure existence, say that there is an existing reality which gives up the five skandhas, or varieties of mundane consciousness, and takes up others. After saying so, they again get further more pain, further, further, further. Similarly, I shall observe the vow of continence near the teacher for the complete disparagement, non-attachment, non-productiveness, and also for the peacefulness of the skandhas. After saying thus of the being again, they do away with that very being. The theories of the Sankhya Yoga and others, however, conclude by the word self, that Purusha only the lord or the enjoyer of the mind. If there be the opinion that a mind stuff naturally restricted is known by another mind stuff immediately contiguous to it, if there were, if it were the object for sight for another, there would be an infinite regress from one thinking substance to another thinking substance, as well as confusion of memory. If one mind stuff were perceived by another mind stuff, by whom would the thinking substance of the thinking substance be perceived? Because this will be perceived by still another, and that by yet one more, there will be an infinite regress, and there will be a confusion of memory. As many memories would obtain as there would be on the part of the thinking substance's experiences. And as a result of the confusion of these, there would be no limit to the memory of one. Thus everything is put into disorder by the destructionist's prattling away of the self, who is conscious by reflecting the thinking substance. But those who assume that the experiencer as such, anywheresoever, do not conform to the rules. There are some who assume an existence as such, and that it is this existence which casts off those five divisions of existence of theirs and puts others together again. But these are afraid of this very. Thus, in the very act of saying that I may feel the passionlessness of the great disgust for the divisions of existence and that they may arise no more and altogether cease, I will lead a student's life in the presence of my spiritual guide. They deny, after all, the existence of the existence, but the systems with the Samkhya and Yoga at their head denote by the word self, the owner, the experiencer of the mind stuff. All right, arguing with myself how much more I want to do this. We've gone on for it's only been an hour and 15 minutes. It's pretty short. Namaste. Katamu. Chitara Parati Samkram. Chitara Parati Samkramaya Sitada Kara Patitao. Siva Buddhati Sambedanamu. Aparino Mini Hi. Pokutri Shakatira Parati Samkrama. Ja. Sorry, it's this word. Parino Mitial Parino Prati Samkranan Teva Prati Samkranan Teva. And this is supposed to be written. I'm seeing things. I'm sorry. Tadu Tadu Tadubrititi, tadubrititi, tadubrititi manu, tadubrititi manupatati, tasya shecha, prabhuta, prabhuta chaitanyo, prabhuta chaitanyo pagrahasvarupaya, buddhati, buddhati buddhitera, nuka arimatrataya, buddhati buddhitera nuka, buddhati, buddhati buddhitera nu, buddhati buddhitera nuka arimatrataya. Number one. Karama, karama, karama. This becomes Ra. Buddha Tibrita Teranu Karama Trataya. Okay. Buddha Tibriti, Buddhit. Wow. Wow. Buddhitya, it looks like. Yeah. Buddha Tibrita, Buddha Tibrita Vishishu. Buddha Tibrita Vishishu. He, he, right? Yeah. Jnana Buddhitya, Jnana Buddhitya Khyayate. Tata Jogatam na Padalam na ja Vivaram Girinam Naibanan Taka Naibanan Takaram Kukushoyo Kukushoyo Nodati Nam Uha Pasyam Nihitam Brahma Shashivatam Buddhati Mabhishishirtam Kavayo Vedayanante iti. Yeah. Once again, I apologize for today. Rougher than yesterday. How the immutable conscience has the perception of its own intellect through its transformation into the form of the letter. So I started from here. Yoga Sutra. The unchanging power of the enjoyer is indeed immutable, but regarding the changing object, it follows the operation thereof, as if transformed into that. The operation, which in fact being unqualified by the intellectual function, belongs to a pure imitation of the activity of the intellect that has received the favorite form of the consciousness, is called the operation of the conscience. Similarly, it has also been said, neither the netherworld, nor a hole, nor the dark recess of a mountain, nor the wombs of the great oceans is the cave where is placed Brahma, the eternal. The sages point out to the absolute intellective function. How? The intellect which unites not is conscious of its own thinking substance when it takes the form of that. For the energy of the experiencer, which is immutable, and which unites not with objects, seeming to unite with something mutable, takes the form of the fluctuations which that undergoes, and being identified with the fluctuation of the thinking substance, insofar as it is nothing but an imitation of a fluctuation of the thinking substance that has come under the influence of the intelligence, it is termed the fluctuation of the thinking substance. And in this sense, it has been said that hiding place in which the everlasting Brahman lies concealed is not an underworld, nor mountain chasm, nor the darkness, nor caverns of the sea, but is the working of the mind, but not distinguished. So the sages tell. All right, so maybe one more, and then I'll call it a day. Namaste. Atasha Jaitada Piupaga. Is it two words or one word? One word? One word. One word. Atashajaitada. Atashajaitada pyupagamiate. Durashaturishia. Turi. Durashaturi. Durashaturishio parak. Durashat. Durashaturishia. Durashaturi. Durashaturi. Durashaturishio parakatam. Chitatam. Saibai tamu. Yeah, last sutra. Mano hi manantaviena tenoparagatam tatasavayam. And there's number one. Okay, so tataha savayam, starting from here. Cha vishayatava devishani vishayatava devishayin vishayatava devishayino purushveno purushveno tamiyaya puritya pisam padatam. This word. Puritya pisam Puritya Purit Puritya pisam banantam badatam Puritya pisam bad Puritya pisam badatam tadetaka chitatameva tadetaka chitatameva. Sorry, I have to say it again. Durashaturi Durashaturi Dirishyo Parakatam Vishaya Visho Vishaya Vishoyin Vishoya Vishoyinilpa Vishoya Vishoyinilpa Yinil Vishaya Vishoyinilpa Sam Jatana Jatana Sivarupa Pananam Vishaya Makamapia Vishaya Matama. Sorry, now I'm being distracted. This is why I use nicotine. It saves me. I don't want to pull my hair. Would you like to pull your hair while trying to learn Sanskrit or recite Sanskrit? Okay. Vishaya Vishaya Makamapya Vishaya Makamiva Jatasan. Vishaya Makamapya Vishaya Makamiva Jatanamiva Sapatui Manui Kalpa Sapatui Man Sapatui Kama Nui Kalpam Saivalta Miti Uchiate Padanena Chittasarupyena Pranantahu Gachitadeva Chetanamitia Huho Apare Chittamatramevedam Saivam Nasati Kalivayam Gavadil 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 Ka Gavadil Kato Gavadil Kato Gavadil Kato Ka Dil Ka Gavadil Kat Gavadil Kato Gavadil Kato Dishuja Sakarano Loka iti anukampu anukampaniyaste kasmat asati hi deshum Prananti bijam Saivarupakara nilpasam Chittatamiti Samadhi prajinyayam Prajinya yoltaha Prati bimam Prati bimambi Prati bimambi Prati. Oh, it's a long word. It's this word. How much more? Okay. So after this word is like home stretch. Pratibimambi, pratibimambi, putastasya, lamambani, putatavadanya. Once again, I apologize for today. It's not the easiest day for me. Prati, pratibimambi, pratibimambi, putastasya, lamambani, putatavadanya. All right, home stretch. Oh, there's a long word coming up. It's like the last challenge of the sutra. Sa jadal jadal tasachit jadal tasachitatam jadal tasachitatamataram syat gatam prajñayaiva prajñarupamavatariyena prajñarupamavatariyeta tasmat pratibimambi putoltaha Prajñāyām yena bhattāriyate sa purusha iti evam grahi trigrahana grahya svaru pachitata peta katra yamapyeta jichatitaha. This is supposed to be pronounced with a K, but a lot of people pronounce with a triple T or double T. But it's supposed to be like ta katra. But yeah, let me show you. See, they even divided the word into two. This one tends to be better than that other one, but it also uses double T. So I'll pronounce it both ways just to make sure. Double T. But it's supposed to be, when there's a triple line, it's supposed to be a good. Grahitira, grahitiri, grahitiri grahana grahyasvaru pasit. Grahitiri grahana Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Peda Katarap Yamapieta Jatitahu. It's this word here. It's gonna take me a while. Grahi Trigrahan Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Peda Kataraya Traya Mapieta Jatitahu. Grahi Trigra Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Peda Katra Yama Pieta. Yama. Yama is the king of the netherworld, the death. Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Peda Katra Yama Pieta Jichatitahu. And I'm gonna pronounce it the other way. Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Peda Katrayama Pieta Jijatitahu. Alright, that was the original. That was the same one as the before. Better pronunciation, but I didn't pronounce this the other way. Grahi 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 Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Grahi Trigrahana Grahyasvaru Pachitita Pedatatra. It's even hard to say it that way. Grahi Grahi Trigrahana Grahiasvaru Pachitita Peda Titrayame Yama Grahi Ya Grahi Trigrahana Grahiasvaru Pachitita Peda Titrayama Pieta Yama Pieta Jatitahu Grahi Trigrahana Grahiasvaru Pachitita Grahi Trigrahana Grahiasvaru Pachitita Peda Titrayama Pieta Jatitahu. Alright, since this is the last sutra, I'm gonna pronounce it just one more time. Gonna try it a few more times. If I don't get it, I don't get it. But I did it. But I I'm going through a lot, so I'm gonna do it again. Grahi tiri grahi tiri grahana grahya savaru pachitita peda titrayama. Grahi tiri grahana grahya savaru pachitita peda titrayama pieta titahu. Okay. Brabipa, Brabipa, Pajana, Brabi Pajana, Brabi Pajana de Samyagadashina, Samyagadashina Sataira Tikatahu. Oh, I did it, but that was an accident. And I could move on theoretically, but I'll do it again. Samyagadashina, Samyagadashina Sataira Tikatahu, Purushahu. There's number one. Purusha iti. That was the second version. Okay. And the English versions. And then I'm done. 1 hour and 30 minutes of Sanskrit studies with English translations. I'll start from here. Hence, it is also understood that the mind, being colored by the perceiver and the perceivable, is omni-objective, because the mind becomes colored by the thinkable object. On account of its objectivity, the mind itself is related to the function which is made his own by the subjective Purusha, the Lord. It is that very mind which, being colored by the perceiver and the perceivable, appearing as the subject and the object, respectively, being transformed into the conscious and the unconscious characters, although being of the objective nature, yet appearing as of the subjective nature, although unconscious, yet appearing as conscious, like a crystal, is said to be uh, omni-objective. Some persons, being confused by this unification of the mind, say that it by itself is conscious. Others say that all this is the mind alone, and that in reality there is no world with its cause, such as the cow, etc., the pot, etc. They're pitiable. Why? Because they have a mind which is the seat of misunderstanding and which appears in the shape of all truths. In the spiritual observant cognition, the cognizable truth gets reflected. It having the nature of being grasped by that is the other. If that truth were the mind itself, how then could the form of cognition be ascertained by cognition itself? Therefore, he by whom the truth reflected in the spiritual observant cognition is determined is the Purusha. Thus, on account of the change of the mind about the manifestations of the receiver, receiving instrument, and the receivable object, they who divide also the threefold transformation of the mind by this classification are the true seers. The Purusha is attained by them. Okay. And for this reason, we reach this result. Mind stuff affected by the seer and by the object for sight, all intended objects. For the central organ is affected by the object for meditation, and is itself on account of its objectivity connected by one of its own fluctuations with the subject, with the self also. Thus the same mind stuff is affected by the seer and by the object for sight, and is seemingly both object and subject, assuming a form both intelligent and unintelligent, appearing as that which is not object, while unintelligent and appears to be intelligent, like a crystal is described as all intended objects. Accordingly, there are some, deceived by this resemblance to mind stuff, who say that it itself is intelligent. There are others who say that this whole universe is nothing more than mind stuff, and that this world of things, cows and water jars and other things, together with their causes, does not exist. They are to be pitied. Why so? Because their mind stuff, shining forth in all kinds of forms, is a source of error. Consequently, in concentrated insight, the object for the insight, when once reflected, is other than it, because this is that upon which it rests. If this object were the mind stuff and nothing more than that, how could the insight by itself ascertain its form as being insight? Accordingly, when in the insight an object is reflected, it is the self who determines. Thus, by dividing mind stuff as such into knower and process of knowing and object for knowledge, they classify it according to its kinds as a triad also. These are men of complete insight. By them the self has been reached. All right, so I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Namaste, namaste, namaste.